If you've ever felt invisible because you didn't show up loud, aggressive, or overwhelming the room, this episode is for you. The next era of leadership, especially for women in business, isn't going to be won by the loudest voices or the highest output. The trend I'm seeing coming through to be successful in 2026, it's going to be won by leaders who have mastered the soft skills, who are calm, clear, and strategically present. And today we're going to talk about why 2026 will be rewarding the regulated, the strategic, and the intentionally grounded, and why nervous system regulation, mindfulness, and clarity are not nice extras anymore. They are leadership essentials. Welcome to the Manifest and Chill podcast. My name is Tracy Ftacek, and today we're stepping into a very different kind of conversation. So let's dive in. Well, hello, my beautiful friends. Today, I'm so excited about this topic because soft skills get overlooked in every aspect of business and even in coaching. Many times, and I know this from experience, the coaches I've had in the past have told me that I need to deepen my voice and be louder in the room and make noise. Well, that's just not me. And as somebody who successfully scaled a 6-figure business into 7 figures by mastering the soft skills, well, I'm here to share with you some of those inside tricks that I used, neuroscience to back things up, because you know I'm a fact girl, and the leadership trend that is going to be sweeping 2026 by storm. And one more thing, the real reason calm is a competitive advantage for women leaders in business. And yes, I'm going to talk about why this matters for your energy alignment diagnostic, if you've taken it already, and your own strategic roadmap for this year. So let's paint the context. Right now, the world of work is not slowing down. In fact, it's speeding up. And there's this little computer hack that everybody is using called AI. And in the past, it was a distant possibility. Well, it's embedded in reality right now. Organizations are flatter, hybrid, decentralized, and expectations for leaders have never been more complex. And yet, as some trends are predicting, and myself included, the leaders who are going to thrive in 2026 won't be the ones who are constantly reactive or on edge. They'll be the ones who are adaptive, grounded, and clear in their nervous system. In other words, 2026 isn't asking for louder leaders. It's asking for calm, clear ones. It's asking for presence over performance. It's asking for stewards of change, stewards of presence. So not reactors, people who are regulators. And what leadership demands now? Well, let's talk a little bit about the past and how we got to where we are. Traditional leadership models were built for the industrial era, for hierarchy, command and control, and continuous output. But the rules are changing, my friend. Leadership trends for 2026, well, they show that there is an importance of relational intelligence and possessing the ability to understand and influence systems instead of dominating them. AI is allowing us to pivot so quickly, to think fast on our moves, to get from A to Z in the marketplace. But fast and loud is not where winning happens moving forward in 2026. The shift is going to go towards a calm leadership in volatile environments. And being a human being and possessing your own human presence, well, that's a strategic differentiator in a very AI-heavy workplace. If you've been noticing on social media, people are getting called out left and right for AI to even speak their own words for them. And it's not going to stop. This is just the beginning. Because emotional intelligence plus intentional clarity is going to be a core skill. Leaders who can stay under pressure in a cool, calm demeanor are not just more pleasant to work with, they make better decisions, foster trust, and create cultures that stick. And this isn't soft talk. It's a soft skill that is a strategic reality, and science backs this up. One of the studies I read in leadership and nervous system research shows that stress and emotional reactivity actively diminish executive functioning, the part of your brain responsible for clarity, decision-making, and creative thinking. So when a leader is stuck in fight or flight mode, their amygdala hijacks the prefrontal cortex. It degrades their capacity for strategic thinking and depth of insight. And this isn't just an anecdotal thought. This is neuroscientific research that confirms it happens. So in contrast, especially if you're that person that says, I work really well under pressure and I love a tight deadline, I feel more alive than anything. Well, that's your anxiety talking, and we need to change that. Calm leaders show higher cognitive flexibility, better emotional regulation, and improved team outcomes. So, my friend, if you want to lead people, you have to be someone they trust and can follow under uncertainty. And calm leadership actually creates psychological safety. And psychological safety, well, that drives performance among yourself and among your team. So why does calm leadership matter for high achievers? This is my wheelhouse. These are the women that I coach and serve on a daily basis in my containers, my one-to-one coaching, and any program that I've created. So let's name something that's rarely named out loud. High achievers are often trained and rewarded to perform in urgency mode. We hustle, we sprint. You even prioritize output over presence at times, or you equate intensity with success. We've all bragged about how difficult the last launch was and how we were pulling things together and changing items at the 11th hour, not from a place of calm-centered strategy, but from a place of last-minute fight or flight mode panic. But this approach, what it does is it trains your nervous system to live in constant activation, fight, flight, or freeze. And that state might feel productive in the moment, but long term, it will constrict your decision-making process, it will drain your creativity, and it will undermine sustainable leadership. It's why so many founders get to the 6-figure mark, but cannot make it to the 7-figure and above. And that's my wheelhouse. That's my specialty. That's what I coach you through, how to get from a 6 to a 7. Because I myself was in this mode. Every business I owned before I hit 7 figures, I lived in that fight or flight mode, that consistent sense of urgency, that stress factor. And the moment I took myself out of it was when I scaled to 7 figures. It will also impact your team, my friends. There's an article I read in Conscious Leadership Pathways that states research shows that emotional states are contagious. Which that means that when you operate in stress, your team is going to mirror that state. But the opposite is also true. So we have a saving grace on this one. Regulated leaders help their teams feel safe, creative, and aligned, which directly boosts performance and retention. When the pandemic kicked, I was leading my team at that point in time from a place of calm, centered reality. And I asked them, if you stay with me during this shuttered time, because remember, at the time I had a beauty brand that I was building and scaling. If you stay with me during this shuttered time and trust me, we'll get through this. And because I had pre-built the previous 3 years into this business, that nervous system regulated, calm leadership style, they said, I trust you, I'm here, I'll do it. And because of that, I was able to confidently move forward, not only scale my business to 7 figures during a very tenuous time in history, but I was able to pay every team member during our governmental shutdown. Not a single individual missed a paycheck. So this isn't about being quiet or passive, but what I'm asking you is about showing up with neural capacity, not reactive impulses. High-achieving women leaders who can regulate their nervous systems, well, they can stay present under pressure, make smarter decisions, navigate uncertainty with precision. Influence without force means we can get people, we can influence others that will co-sign off on our ideas, processes, and dreams. We can bring them along. They want to be part of the greater mission. And lead cultures that scale for the better and the good of all involved. And these are not just soft skills. These are predictors of sustainable success. I've seen it time and time again. I've coached it time and time again. And the patterns we're seeing across industries, from remote teams to hybrid ecosystems to AI augmented workflows, all point in the same direction. Clarity beats chaos. Presence beats panic. And calm, well, my friend, it beats noise. And this is why 2026 is going to reward women who lead with calm clarity. You don't need to be the loudest voice or have the busiest calendars to get where you want to go. But a lot of times I get people ask, well, what does a calm leader do differently? Is it simply just delegating a little bit here and there? No, what that really looks like to lead with calm clarity is the following. And if you're taking notes, grab your pen and paper, come back to me and write these down, because I'm going to give them to you in strong 3-step bullet points. Number 1, you regulate before you react. You will create intentional pauses in your day consistently, not because you have time, but because you understand the nervous system precedes the decision. And I'm going to give you some practical applications to this a little bit later on, so stick around. Number 2, you use practices like meditation, visualization, and intention setting, not as self-help rituals, but as leadership tools that regulate your nervous system and will fortify their executive function. Number 3, you integrate information, not mirror the stress swirling around you. What this means, you will listen before replying, scale thought before acting, and see patterns before reacting to novelty. And I want to touch on this one. Seeing patterns before reacting to novelty. That's about understanding what's a trend and what's long-term success. And these behaviors are not accidental. They are neurobiological capacities. And what I mean by that is they can be trained. This is where the energy alignment diagnostic quiz results really matter. If you want to lead with clarity and strategic presence this year, it helps to know, are you currently in a season and ready to scale? Or do you need to recalibrate or rethink your business structure? And what would make you the best format of leadership? Who are you as a leader, and how can we lean into your strengths? So the quiz that I have and I've created for you, the quiz gives you a clearer lens on all of that, not as a bucket label, because I'm not into labels, but as information that you can actually act on. And I provide a few suggestions of where is the best starting point for you based on your energetic load and how aligned your systems are currently in your business. You'll find the link in the show notes if you're interested. I highly recommend taking the quiz. So, calm and AI. What's the differentiator between calm as an AI and using human leadership as the differentiator? Here's something deeper to think about. AI is changing what we work on, but it's also changing how work gets done. What we see now with AI incorporated into our daily lives, AI is amplifying output. AI is accelerating decisions, and AI forces context switching, which is all beautiful and great. I am all about optimizing systems, making things easier, and faster deliver from B to C. But what AI does not replace is human presence and clarity. And I think that this is where a lot of high achieving women are getting things wrong. It does not replace your human presence and your clarity, especially in ambiguous moments. And it does not replace the nervous system's regulatory capacity behind high-stake judgment. Leaders who can pause, integrate, reflect, and make grounded decisions, who understand when to lead, when to delegate to AI, and when to slow down, those, my friends, will be the ones who harness AI as a partner instead of it becoming a pressure point. Clarity isn't a nice to have this year. It's a capacity advantage that AI, well, it can't automate it. So here's the real takeaway in all of this. Remember, 2026 will not reward the loudest. It will reward the leaders who can regulate themselves well enough to lead others through complexity instead of reacting to it. And if you want that for yourself, and you don't want to repeat the patterns of exhaustion and reaction, it has to all start with clarity. Your nervous system is your leadership superpower. Your ability to be calm under pressure is not a nice to have any longer. It's fundamental to sustainable success. So if you haven't yet, go take the energy alignment diagnostic. It's in the link of the show notes, and it will help you understand whether this is a season to scale, recalibrate, or rethink your business structure. With clarity as your guide, not overwhelm. And if you want support building this capacity intentionally into your business and leadership, I'm launching something this spring. It's the Energy Aligned Business Strategy. And it's a container I lead 20 women inside, and it is designed for exactly this kind of leader. 2026 isn't about doing more. It's about doing what matters with strategic presence. And that, my beautiful friend, is the kind of leadership the world needs and will reward. Until next week, I love you all so much. Reach out to me, leave me a message, a DM and Instagram. And if anything has touched you inside of this episode, please, I would be eternally grateful if you left me a review and shared a few words about what jumped out for you. Until then, have a beautiful week, and I'll see you on episode 31.